Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Wednesday, February 19th, 2020. We've got your top headlines and trending topics for you right now. The things that we're going to get into for you today are plans for Kent State University's 50th commemorative anniversary event related to the Kent State shootings, which happened in 1970, a conversation with Cleveland Browns Chief of Staff Callie Brownson that our 3 News Jimmy Donovan had, and some information about whether Myles Garrett could be hit with a defamation lawsuit, what that looks like. I'll give you a little bit of legal analysis on that. And then finally, how to send birthday cards to the Norton teenager who recently woke up from a coma after collapsing at her high school homecoming dance. All right, let's get right into it. First of all, actually, thank you for joining me wherever you are. Let me know where you're watching from today. I always appreciate hearing from you and shouting out in the live stream. I'm going to be paying attention to the comments as we go along today, so make sure you say hello. And if you have any questions or any comments to add while we're going through any of the stories today, please feel free to share those in the live stream. You can also tweet me at _Stephanie Haney with any of those comments. Okay. First up, that Kent State University benefit that's happening. So that's happening on May 2nd, and that's going to be headlined by rock and roll legends Joe Walsh and Barnstorm and David Crosby. This is a benefit concert happening on May 2nd in support of scholarships that are named after the 4 students who were shot and killed during the deadly protest at Kent State University on March 4th, 1970. All the proceeds from that show will support the May 4th Legacy Scholarships. This will provide financial aid to 4 students majoring in the university's Peace and Conflict Studies program. So each scholarship bears the name of one of the 4 people who were killed on campus on that day, May 4th, 1970. Those people are Allison Cross, Jeffrey Miller, Sandra Shore, and William Schroeder. So those scholarships will be honoring those individuals, and then moving forward will be awarded to people, as we said, who are studying peace and conflict studies. More news about the Kent State University plans to commemorate this event. Actor and activist Jane Fonda will also be there, and someone who is not happy about that is our Ohio Secretary of State and Army veteran, Frank LaRose. He has an issue with the fact that Jane Fonda will be paid $83,000 to speak at the university on May 4th. LaRose tweeted out a statement. He said that this event has the potential to serve as a moment of unity for a nation that is deeply divided, but in his opinion, paying Jane Fonda $83,000 will not do that. It will actually do the opposite of that. LaRose was later called out on whether he's not for free speech, and he said that he is all for free speech and he would be happy for Jane Fonda to come to the university and speak for free, but she shouldn't be paid to speak at the solemn event. So to give you a little bit of the backstory about why LaRose is taking issue with Jane Fonda being paid to speak at this event, Jane opposed the Vietnam War and actually went to North Vietnam in the 1970s, and she was photographed on a Vietnamese anti-aircraft gun. So this is particularly what LaRose is taking issue with. He tweeted that she betrayed our service members by taking those actions. Jane has been very outspoken about her opposition to the Vietnam War, and since that photo was taken, she said that she does regret that photo and she does regret the manner in which she went about making her opposition to the Vietnam War known, but she does not regret opposing the war. Kent State University's president, Todd Diacon, has come out and said that those comments from Jane Fonda, which you can find in an HBO documentary that came out in 2018, reflect the university's goal of bringing people together and the reconciliation of this event 50 years later. So it does not look like the university will be changing course on that, and we can expect to see Jane Fonda at that event on May 4th. Just taking a look here and checking in where we are with the comments. So thank you again for joining us. Let me know where you're watching if you're joining us for the first time today, or if you've been with us every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. We do a 3 News Now update. Okay, moving on to the Cleveland Browns. Our very own Jimmy Donovan, our sports director here, talked with the Cleveland Browns' new chief of staff, Callie Brownson. She definitely has the right name for the job with that last name, Brownson. She is the first woman ever to be hired as a full-time head coach for the Browns. We're very happy to have her. As a reminder, her hiring comes right around the same time that the San Francisco 49ers offensive analyst Katie Sowers became the first female to coach in a Super Bowl at the beginning of the month. So on speaking about seeing women in the NFL, Brownson said that she does definitely see head coaching as a possibility for women in the NFL and also in other pro sports leagues. This is a quote for her. Quote, "I'm going to come in contact with hundreds of people in my time here. I'm going to leave a good impression on them, and in a couple of years when they go to another organization, they're going to be able to say, we had a female as part of our organization and it was a really good thing." That's going to be this branch effect that happens from here. She did say that she has encountered skepticism from coaching men, particularly when she was coaching boys in high school, but she gets past it simply by showing what she can do. She said, "It's very easy to gain the trust of your fellow players and your fellow coaches if you're somebody who can help the team win. It's very easy to gain their respect." Nothing more like showing them what you can do in order to get people to shut up, Brownson. I'm definitely here for that. To give you a little bit of the backstory on Brownson's history in professional sports, she played for the DC Divas of the Women's Football Alliance, and she interned with both the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. She had her first major full-time coaching job doing offensive quality control at Dartmouth in the Ivy League. And the Bills, by the way, which she interned with last season, they are the team that hired the very first full-time female coach of the NFL in 2016. That was Catherine Smith. So what Brownson hopes to focus on with the Browns is the history of this franchise. She told Jimmy Donovan that the amount of tradition in the building is unbelievable, and it's one thing that they're really trying to shed light on, the people who have walked this walk before our players have. So definitely going to be taking a look back at the very rich history of the Cleveland Browns, probably before they left us and then after they came back when they were taken away from us by the Baltimore Ravens. Art Modell, we're looking at you. Okay, here's some more information about the Browns today. Former Cleveland Browns general manager John Dorsey is backing up Myles Garrett, saying that Myles Garrett told the team at the time of that incident with Mason Rudolph that Mason Rudolph called him the N-word. So, to remind you what happened between Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph, here's what went down. This was in November. It was a Thursday night primetime game. There was an altercation almost at the very end of the game. Myles Garrett ended up ripping the helmet off of Mason Rudolph, hitting him over the head with it. As a result of that, more than 30 players and both teams were fined. Garrett got an indefinite suspension. Pouncey on the Browns was suspended for 3. Pouncey was suspended for 3 games. That was reduced for 2, and then Ogunjobi got suspended for 1 game for their roles in the fight. Rudolph was just fined. He did not get a suspension. So Myles Garrett was just reinstated to the NFL last week. They decided that him serving the 6-game suspension was enough. He won't have to sit out any games next year. He did also have other things that were required, like counseling and those kinds of things. So this has come up again, whether or not Rudolph called Garrett a racial slur, because Garrett spoke to ESPN's Mina Kimes last week. In an interview, he said that Rudolph called him a stupid N-word in that interview. So the way Garrett described what happened, he said that Rudolph called him the N-word in a previous play, and then they had the following play, which is where the incident went down, and then Garrett said it sparked something in him after he had previously been called the N-word, and that's when it happened. You know, you can see in the film that Rudolph tried to take Garrett's helmet off, did not succeed. Garrett did succeed in taking Rudolph's helmet off, wound up, hit him over the head with it, and then that's where we are today. Rudolph said that he did not say the N-word, and the Steelers head coach also said that he had not heard in his many conversations with Browns personnel following that incident that there was any use of the N-word. But the Browns organization has said from the beginning of this that Garrett did, not from the very beginning, but after Garrett had his meeting with the NFL to see about what his penalty would be, the Browns organization did come out and say at that time that they were standing by Garrett. So here's why we're talking about this now today. So there's an attorney for Rudolph who posted on Twitter that Garrett exposed himself to legal liability by saying that Rudolph called him the N-word, which again Rudolph has denied. So that lawyer called it a defamatory statement. The lawyer didn't say that Rudolph was going to sue Garrett, but as an attorney licensed here in Ohio, I'm also licensed to practice law in California. It is my professional legal opinion that this lawsuit will not go anywhere if it does develop into a lawsuit. Here's why. For a regular person at the most basic level, defamation is a lie that hurts your reputation. For a public figure, like Mason Rudolph, that is harder to prove because as an athlete, Mason Rudolph is a public figure, and to win a defamation lawsuit as a public figure, there's a higher standard of proof. So Rudolph would have to prove not only that it was a lie that he called Garrett the N-word, he would also have to prove that Garrett knew it was a lie or acted recklessly as to whether or not it was actually true. And then Rudolph would actually also have to prove that he did not say it. So there's been much conversation made about the fact that no Steelers players have corroborated, or no, people who were on the field corroborated the fact that Rudolph did say the N-word, but that's not enough. He would actually need proof that he did not say it. And the reason for that is he would be the person bringing the lawsuit, so the burden of the proof falls on him. So Myles Garrett wouldn't have to prove anything. He would be in the defense position in this lawsuit, and he wouldn't have to prove anything. So the lawsuit will likely not go anywhere. I'm not really sure what the angle is here. Maybe they're looking for a settlement. I don't know. Could be a number of things. But I don't think we can expect to see a defamation lawsuit come out of this. One more story for you today. We have been following the story of that Norton teenager, Emma Pfouts, who recently woke up from a coma. She spent weeks in a medically induced coma after she collapsed at her Norton High School homecoming dance, and she is now remaining in recovery at a hospital in Akron. Many people were kind enough to send her Valentines. Her family said she actually got almost 400 Valentine cards. And this week is her 17th birthday. So the family wants to let you know that she's also accepting birthday cards, and that would really bring her a lot of cheer as she's in the hospital recovering. You can send those birthday cards to her at Akron Children's Hospital. Here is that address. Akron Children's Hospital, Transitional Care, Attention, Emma Pfouts. You spell her last name Pfouts. The address there is 214 West Bowery Street, Akron, Ohio, 44308. We also have that address written down in a story on WKYC.com, also our 3 News app, and also in the 3 News Now article. You can find that address written there. And if you don't have time to go out, or you don't want to actually physically mail a card, you can also send her an e-card. We have a link to do that. If you do choose to send her an e-card, those will be printed and delivered to Emma at the hospital. We have the link to do that in the story there as well. So if you want to bring Emma a little bit of cheer on her 17th birthday while she's in the hospital recovering, that's how you can do that. Again, that address is Akron Children's Hospital, addressed to Transitional Care, Attention, Emma Pfouts, Pfouts, at 214 West Bowery Street, Akron, Ohio, 44308. That would definitely bring her a lot of cheer. Thank you so much for joining us here on 3 News Now. We appreciate you being a part of the live stream and joining us every day at right around 1 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. If you are not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find that at youtube.com/user/WKYCTV. If you are watching us on YouTube, or if you found this on our website or our app and you're not already following our Facebook page, you can do that at facebook.com/WKYC.channel3. You can like us there and then make sure you get notifications every single time we go live. We really appreciate you being a part of the live stream here at 3 News Now, and we will see you tomorrow right around 1 p.m.